This is your life.
Good day, fellow greasers. Welcome back to Langrisser News from the future. So, right on part 1 of 2 video, be featuring the talent, exclusive skills and factions and 3 C's of the October to November 2022 heroine Gruhind. And on part 2 of video, be featuring Yor and Connor. So are you guys ready? Before we start, a very great thanks for information shared and provided by the Langrisser mobile app. So let's get started. So alright, at the end of the video, I'll be showcasing the rough translations of all the skills, talent and 3C that I did for you guys, so you can watch to the end or you can forward to the end to check out the translation of the skills and effect, though I would appreciate if you watch to the end. So right, and again, let's appreciate the fine and thick art of Gruhind. So yep, one of the best go, yep. And your great loving sister, oh yeah, with wings. So right, she's from the faction Strategies, Princess and Origin of Light. Then her talent is known as Cold of Snow Realm or Shiver of Snow Realm. Okay, the effect as follows. So when battling with units whose movement speed does not exceed yours, increase your attack and defense by 25%. Then at the end of a turn, if you're in danger zone, obtain the buff with the following effect. The buff effect is known as Frost Aegis or Frost Shield. The effect are as follows: immune to all debuff effect. When being attacked into battle, obtain a command effect which will reduce enemy speed by 1 square or tiles around you by 2. And this effect will last for a turn, and you'll be gaining a shield able to block damage that is of 25% your own HP. And do note that this second effect of gaining the buff cannot be dispelled. And 3, after Frost Aegis shield effect is removed or being used, there is a cooldown of 1 turn before you can obtain this effect again. So very cool characters. They kind of cover up the weakness of a flyer unit's effect and against the effect for Twilight, which will break you off your full HP because you kind of gain a shield effect. So yep, by this point you guys should know our main class or end class is to be flyer, as you have read from the talent, because when battling enemies with unit which does not exceed yours, you increase your own attack and defense by 25. So the best to go is apparently flyer with a minimum of 5 movement speed. So alright, let's repeat again. So number 1, when battling against units whose movement speed does not exceed yours, increase your attack and defense by 25%. Then number 2, at the end of a turn, if you are in the danger zone, you will obtain the buff with the following effect, is known as Frost Aegis. This effect will provide you immunity to all debuff effect. Then followed by when being attacked into battle, you obtain a command effect. This effect will reduce enemy speed who are 1 squares or tiles around you by 2. Meaning if their movement speed is of 5, they will be reduced to 3. Then you'll be able to block damage up to 25% your own HP. And this whole effect cannot be dispelled. Number 3, after Frost Aegis shield's effect is removed, there is a cooldown of 1 turn before you can obtain this effect again. So yeah, and on this part of video, we will be only talking about exclusive new skills. The rest of the whole skills she will have will be only shown or talked through during the demo play. So she has warrior class and flyer class, and apparently you will be get high priority. Most players will be using the flyer class. So right, exclusive skill 1 from her initial path is known as Shield of Ruthless Cold. So apparently, it's great that this time around they have the cooldown, cost, range, and type of the skill. So it is a 1C skill. It has a cooldown of 4 turns. The shooting range is 3 squares or tiles, and it's a single target skill. So you can cast and apply on the target space or terrain, you'd call the effect of Shields of Ruthless Cold. The terrain will have a command effect that will cause all allies 2 squares or tiles around it to have their defense and magic defense increased by 10%, whereas enemies 1 squares or tiles beside it will have their movement reduced by -2. This effect will last for a turn only. Then followed by, after using the skills, you'll be able to move 3 squares or tiles and attack again. When using this act again skill effect, the buff you have will not be reduced. So this is very cool. It's a debuff to enemy and it's a buff to allies, and lastly it is an act again skills, so you can easily help to trigger your talent effect. So it has a great synergy with your talent or with your characters, and not to mention it's a 1C skill. The only downside is that it has a cooldown effect of 4 turns, so oh well, get a give or take. Sorry, let's repeat again. Shield of Ruthless Cold. So number 1, cast and apply on the target space the effect of Shield of Ruthless Cold. So the target terrain will now have a command effect that will cause all allies 2 squares or tiles around it to have their defense and magic defense increased by 10%, and enemies 1 squares or tiles beside it will have their movement speed reduced by -2. This whole effect will only last for a turn. Number 2, after using the skills, you can move 3 squares or tiles and attack again. And when using this act again skills, the buff you had will not be reduced. Okay, so third path, first class third path, it's warrior. So apparently the movement speed is only 3, so it's definitely not a great choice. Alright, exclusive skills 2. It's known as Flashing Ice Pick. It's a 2C skills, a cooldown of 5 turns. It has the cast range only on yourself, and the area of effect is only 2 squares or tiles. So alright, it's an AoE skills. Alright, so the effect is follow. Deal 0.36 times AoE damage to enemies 2 squares or tiles around you. Then apply a -2 movement speed debuff to enemies that got damaged by the skills. And 3, if enemies has already had a movement reduction effect, there will be a 20% chance that will cause them to not able to take action, aka they're gonna be frozen or stunned. I'm gonna go for frozen in this case because she's from Norland and it's a freezing country, so yep. It's kind of like the enchantment ice or freeze that will cause enemy to be frozen, so it's kind of like becoming an actual skills, and again it's the same, you have a 20% chance. Then after using these skills, you obtain the skill effect block. So the effect is follow. When in close combat, there is a 30% chance to trigger physical damage taken will be reduced by 30%. So movement reduction debuff effect and gaining the block effect these two effect will last for 2 turns. So apparently block is an old skill. It's just by triggering this AoE